Feminine is like an ocean, freely flowing, while the masculine is like a ship, directionful, purposeful, and analytical. This is a quote that I journaled down from reading The Way of the Superior Man. And the truth is, if you're going to read one book, this is the book you read. Now, I'm not going to waste your time. I'm not going to waste your time like all the other bozos and gurus do. My advice for you is simply, if you are a man, and if you are a young man like me, or maybe a little older, then my advice is to literally just read this book. That's all I have to say. Read this book. You will become more masculine, and truly, you will just become a better man. You will just grow up so much better. You know all those relationships where it's like they got into a relationship like when they were in their 20s. They were both really attractive, and they both had some good status. They looked nice. And then, like, 30 years later, they're both 50 in their 50s, and they're, like, fucking ugly and fat and directionless, and they don't know what they're doing with their life. They have, like, 3 kids. Their kids are fat, and they really just, they don't have that, like, that dynamic that we see in so many successful relationships. In all the successful relationships, we see that there's a masculine man and a feminine woman. In all successful relationships, all successful marriages, we see that there is a dynamic. There is a relationships are like magnets. Opposites attract. The very feminine is attracted to the very masculine. The feminine is attracted to the masculine, and a man who's balanced is attracted to a is attracted to a woman that is balanced in energies. If you are a man, you want to become as masculine as possible to attract a woman that is as feminine as possible. This book helps you so much with this. It helps you with spirituality, energies, masculinity. Even if you're a feminine woman watching this, if you want to become more feminine, attract a really masculine man that will guide you and direct you, and that you will love with all your heart. Read this book. This book helps all types of people to become more polarized with their partners, and become more polarized, become more in one of the polar ends, so that they attract the other polar end. The stronger the energy, the stronger, you know how when the stronger, the more the stronger the energy on one side of the magnet, the stronger the bond it will have with the opposite. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know, how can I explain this where it's really easy to understand? The stronger the energy in your magnet, you know how there's north and south, right? There's north and south of a magnet. The stronger the north pole is, the stronger the north pole is, the easier and stronger it will be to attract the south, its reciprocal, like, absolute value south. You know what I mean? Like, the stronger it will attract. Basically, the more masculine you are, the easier and stronger and more feminine you will be able to attract. Like a feminine, really feminine, like, the more masculine you are, the more feminine you will be able to attract. Like, the more feminine the woman you'll be able to attract. That's what I was trying to say the whole time. So, if you want to become more masculine, if you want to become more feminine, doesn't matter. If you're a man, I would say probably become more masculine, but most men are pursuing feminine qualities. If you want to become more feminine and if you're a man and you want to become more feminine, I don't think this channel's for you. But if you want to become more masculine as a man, read this book. Because, well, the advice that you want to hear is not the advice that you should hear. The advice that's easy, the advice that gets views, the advice that gets money, the advice that gets audience retention. That's the advice that usually doesn't work. That's usually the advice that's easy. The advice that's hard, the advice that's hard is usually the advice that works. And sadly enough, this is also the advice that doesn't get views, it doesn't get audience retention, it doesn't get subscribers, it doesn't get likes. So, if you want to spread my message, if you want to get more people improving themselves, becoming better, if you're on self-improvement, you realize you don't relate to anyone. You can't relate to anyone. The more you spread this channel around, the more you spread the message of masculinity for men and femininity for women, the more relatable you'll be able to be to people, one, and two, the world, like, you'll have more friends, basically. So it's a win-win for both of us. Go subscribe if you want. I'm not telling you, go hit the like button and subscribe. Like, I don't give a fuck. But, I mean, I do, but, like, do it if you want. I don't really, like, I'm not gonna force you or anything, but I think it would be a win-win for both of us. So, I haven't been into a relationship. I haven't have, like, a polarized relationship with a woman yet, but that's why I'm telling you to take advice from somebody else. I'm giving you, my advice is to take advice from this specific person. Basically, just read this book, become more polarized, because the masculine, remember the quote I said earlier, the masculine is like a ship, directionful, purposeful, and analytical. The masculine is like the guider, the director, the provider, the logical, stoic thinker. Whereas the feminine is like the emotional, makes decisions based on feelings, loving, nurturing. The feminine is synergetic with the masculine. The more masculine, like when you're very masculine, you're like a stoic, you're working super hard on your goals, you're very purposeful, you have like a logical mindset, a thinker mindset. Whereas if you're very feminine, you make decisions based on emotion. You're emotional, and you're loving, and your sole purpose in life is love. The masculine's purpose in life is his mission, his purpose, his goals. The feminine's purpose in life is love. So, if you want to have a good relationship, be more spiritual, and overall just be a better man, or even a better woman, I think if you're a woman, if there's any women watching this for whatever reason, that the world has shaped you to become more masculine, you don't have to listen to me. You can say, oh, but he's only 13 years old, what the fuck does he know? He's just a dumbass. He doesn't know life yet. You can say that. You can give that cope. You can give that excuse. But I think the world has shaped you to become very masculine, and that's just not natural for your core. Every woman on the earth has a feminine core. It's based on the environmental factors around them that shapes them to become either more masculine or more feminine. Every man in the world has a masculine core. They have a drive. They have a drive to become better. They have they have a goal-setting demeanor. They have a goal-setting core, but the society has shaped them to become more feminine. Read this book, become more polarized, and you won't end up like these 50-year-old fat motherfuckers. Keep working on yourself. Read this book, become more polarized, and you won't end up like these fat 50-year-old motherfuckers who don't even like each other anymore. If you read this book, you will have an awesome relationship with your woman. You'll marry, you'll have children, and you'll feel fulfilled because you'll be following your purpose. You'll be present. Have a good day, man. Keep improving yourself. Peace out. See you in the next one. Mwah.